Exhibit C is considered one of Jay Electronica's best songs. How did that come together?
Oh, we just did it. We did Exhibit C just to do it. That's why I say at the end of the record, sometimes the things that we do without even trying are better than things that people put a lot of effort into. I forget exactly how I worded it, but yeah, we did Exhibit C just to do it. We were hanging out one night, like we used to every night in the studio. I want to say, I think Angela Yee was still doing her morning show that was called The Morning After, and me, her, and Jay were all cool. So he was like, "Yo, let's make a record and take it up to Angela Yee." So I said, "All right, let's do it." So we started doing it around 11:30 that night, and that's why at the end of the record I say The Morning After world premieres, because we made it for her show. So the record was good. I knew the record was special from the moment. From the moment I started putting the track together, I was like, "Yeah, this is gonna be something." Because as I was making the beat, he was writing in his head, at the same time. There used to be a video that I posted on Twitter years ago. It's long gone now. Of me sitting there doing the drums live while he's figuring out his words and rapping to it. And the way that a lot of that record was happening was he would come up with like 4 or 5 lines. I throw a line to him, or he would get stuck or I would change a line and have him change the pronunciation. And then he would go back and do like 6 or 7 more lines, then leave a space. And that's why I'm on that record talking, because that's kind of what was happening in the studio when I was like, "Oh my God, keep going." He was actually going to stop right there. That was going to be the end of it. And I was like, "No, keep going." So we just put all those moments in the record. He came up with the whole thing live. While I was freestyling the beat, he was freestyling the rhyme. So we just wanted to capture that energy on the record. And then he's like, "All right, I'll keep going." So he went and did the whole Jay Electronica, Jay Electronica, Muhammad Salamika. But he originally was going to stop at Jay Electronica, Jay Electronica. And I was like, "No, you got to keep going." And then he was like, "All right." And he came up with it like that. Like, the whole record happened effortlessly. And I think that's one of the reasons why it was so good, is because we didn't make it for anything. We didn't say, "Hey, let's make a single." We didn't say, "Hey, let's make a radio record." If you think about it, that record is actually the opposite of that. It has no hook. It's slow. And the artist is really rapping, which is the exact opposite of what you hear the majority of the time on mainstream radio. So I think the reason why, the reason why it became successful, but part of the reasons why it feels so good, is because we were just doing it just to make something. And a lot of my most successful records have been records where we weren't really trying. I can say that with not all, but the majority of my biggest records, we just did spontaneously on the spot, and something great came out of it. I just think there's also a certain energy that you put out there when you're doing something just because you like what you're doing at that time, when you're just feeling good, you're having a good moment. Right. There's a certain energy to that translates on records. Like, a lot of times, the listener can tell when a record is being forced. They might not even necessarily know that that's what they don't like about it. But sometimes you hear a record and you be like, "I don't like this record." And the other person's like, "Why?" "I don't know, I just don't like it." Like, sometimes you can't explain why you like a record or why you don't like a record. And sometimes it just comes down to the energy on the record itself. And I guess overall, just to wrap it up, I think my point is that when you just have a very spontaneous, good energy going into something, and that's whether it's a song, a movie, anything creative, anything that impacts people. Sometimes when you're just doing it for the love of doing it, that energy finds its way into other people's, psyche.
Can you give us any update on Jay Electronica's album?
I don't have any updates since the last update I gave, which was I have a pretty nearly finished version of it in my phone. I don't know what he's gonna do with it. Listen, he's chilling out in London. He's doing well. Jay's life philosophy is, my train is running on schedule. That's how he lives his life. So,
So he was very honest, and he says, I don't write that way, I don't know how. So Drake was just kind of showing him how to take his ideas and turn them into a story, and to make that story come back around.
He basically was like letting me know, I know who you is, I know we got a lot of the same people, man, but we ain't dead, nigga, basically. And I was like on a defense.